Hey folks, today is a very special episode. It's sort of my version of the YouTuber call-out show / Q&A. I want to mix all that together in a nice steamy bowl of fish soup. Coming right up. Hey YouTube, this is Pecktec. Now last year I had the clones do this show for me a couple of times and call it Fish Soup. And they're just so busy lately. I mean, I called up Charlie and I was asking if they'd want to do the show, and they were like, at first they were, yeah, sure, but then it just seemed really busy. So the best they said that they could do for me is maybe, do the ending. So they're going to do the ending of this show, but in the meantime, I want to tell you about some great YouTube channels and just kind of answer some random comments. Nothing in particular. Usually I'll pick a comment that I get a lot or I think is just funny or interesting. So let's get right into it. Okay, so let's start with a YouTuber. The first one I want to talk about is Inquisitive Fish Guy. Now, he's been around for a little while. He's making really great videos. The last video he did was really intriguing. He talked about basically not feeding feeder fish to your fish that eat fish. This is sort of a difficult subject. There's a lot of people that are really on way one side or way the other side on this sort of thing. And that's for a lot of different reasons. Now, the reasons that he brings up for not feeding them are completely valid. I agree 100%. You do not want to go buy a goldfish and feed it to your piranha or whatever monster fish you have that eats other things. You don't want to do that. Now, there are areas on the internet where they say you should never feed another fish a fish. But in nature, that happens all the time. Basically, all that fish food you're feeding them is just ground up other fish. So, although I don't personally do that sort of thing, I'm not sure how to feel about it either. I mean, when I had a bearded dragon, I used to feed it crickets, and watching that thing eat crickets was like kind of fascinating. So I definitely get it if you do feed fish to your fish, but I don't know. I definitely don't want to videotape it and put it on the internet. I'll say that much. But Inquisitive Fish Guy, you did a fantastic job explaining that whole thing. Kudos to you, man. I think you always do a really good job. I just wanted to say thank you for your videos. I love them. Okay, so my first comment, and I apologize if I get this wrong, is from Sakushi Chan. And they asked, how do you prep your water? What products do you use? Well, I use a lot of different products. I'm not sure how you can tell like what the chlorinator works better than another one. So that's a great one. Like if you know definitively the answer to that, put it in the comments below. I mean, it is really hard to tell if your dechlorinator is working properly, but I know one that gets rave reviews and I enjoy buying is Prime. Prime gives you more bang for the buck. I mean, it's real condensed. It takes very little to take effect. I mean, if you read the label, compare it to other dechlorinators, it seems to be much more of a condensed product than the other ones. And it just gets rave reviews from people all over the forums, all over the internet seem to love it. So I use that, but I also use other things that are on sale, things that I get for free, and or things I get in my aquarium box and things that I get in like grab bags and things like that. So I use just a wide variety of products, but if I had to recommend one that I felt really safe about saying I recommend it, I would probably pick Prime. Prime's good. Okay, back to the channels, and the next channel I want to talk about is Mark's Fish Tanks. This is a guy that I, searching around for shrimp tanks and that sort of thing, I came across. He's got some really cool tanks. He incorporates a bunch of aquaponic components, which is another thing that really fascinates me. And he keeps some shrimp that I think are pretty difficult to keep, and they all look terrific. He does a great job with his videos. I encourage you to check him out. Oh, the other thing is he says he's dying to answer your shrimp questions, and I know you guys have shrimp questions, so there's a YouTuber who's just saying, hey, ask me whatever. Another good reason to take a look. The next kind of funny comment I got was from Dominic Cats, who says, casually watching YouTube while a guppy is giving birth next to me. I thought this was really funny, but it really speaks to the hobby in general. I mean, when I first started keeping, I think bearded dragons and fish, I was fascinated when I would go to the care sheets to look up how to take care of them. I was fascinated by the amount of information about breeding them, and I was like, wow, why would I never really had pets with the intention of like making more pets from them, but That's definitely something that occurs, especially if you keep live bears like guppies and mollies and platies and that sort of thing. You're definitely going to experience that if you keep males and females together. You're going to have babies, and it's just really cool. I'm glad you got to have that experience. Here's another comment. Hey Peck, I love your vids, man, and your museum of tanks. It is kind of a museum now. I have a serious question. How high is your electricity bill running all those tanks of yours? Well, I definitely would say, I couldn't say it has no effect whatsoever. It definitely has some effect, but I try to keep, especially the lights, as many LEDs as I can. I do have a number of compact fluorescents, which also aren't terribly bad on electricity, but the lights definitely make a big difference. If you're a fish keeper or potential fish keeper and you want to make a fish room, that is a really great investment for one simple purpose. If you can keep it temperature controlled, because I think the heaters are probably what generates the most electricity. If you could keep a temperature controlled room, that would make a tremendous difference in your electricity bill. Also, people that have tons of tanks, like Rachel Leary off the top of my head, it seems like every pump she has is basically a sponge filter. They're not very sexy, but they're highly effective and very, very inexpensive to run. You know, big air pump can run a whole room full of those things. So that's something to keep in mind if you're looking to save money on your electricity bill. I definitely would like to do something like that. This place doesn't have a basement. I don't have a place to put anything, so this little bonus room upstairs above my garage is about the best I can do. But and I can't keep it like super humid in here. People get upset with me. But it's not, to answer your question, it's not terrible. It is not terrible. Not that I know, because I'd have to turn everything off to find out. I can say this, as I've added tanks, the bill hasn't gotten significantly higher, so it's probably not too bad. It probably is bad. It's probably terrible. Shh, don't tell my wife. So another channel I want to talk about is Aquascaping Lab. This is a really cool channel. Their videos are very well done, very deliberate, very nicely, cleanly made. And I really like a lot of their aquascapes. Maybe not the Pokemon aquascape that they made. Oh, and incidentally, and this is off the subject, but my aquarium at work is a Pokemon gym. Just so you know, I've got a Pokemon gym right next to my desk, and it's my aquarium. One thing about Aquascaping Lab you need to know is that it's mostly in Italian. Now, they do have English subtitles, so you can follow along with what they're trying to say, but they have a whole playlist that just says English, and for the most part, their videos speak for themselves, just with the photography and the very cleanly done aquascapes that are really interesting to watch. So definitely check them out. One last thing I wanted to mention was the tremendous support shown for fellow YouTuber Psychedelic Babe. Now recently she had a break-in. It was a terrible thing. They stole her camera. It's like a YouTuber's worst nightmare. I was going through a bunch of stuff at the time and did not have time to make a video to kind of call some attention to it. All I could do is like donate and like share a little bit on Facebook. Michael Ahrens started a GoFundMe of Ahrens Aquariums. He started a GoFundMe along with my aquarium box, or maybe in conjunction or as my aquarium. Anyway, so he started a GoFundMe to help her out, help her get a new camera and kind of get back on her feet YouTube wise. And it was a tremendous success. I mean, people showing up from all over, just throwing in a little bit here, as much as they could. Somewhere a little bit, somewhere a lot. And she's back. She's back and rolling again. I mean, that is awesome. And she's such a terrific person. I mean, like, that GoFundMe is over, so I can't give you a link to go to give her cash or anything, but you can go subscribe. Go subscribe and watch a couple of her videos. One special thing about some of her videos, she does these call-out shows, and she'll go find some really small, obscure channels. Like, she looks for the small channels too, and small channels with potential, and she kind of brings them up to the light so you can see them. She has a really terrific show. Highly encourage you to check her out. I think the first time I encountered her was actually in the comments section of the Aquascape sci-fi video contest that we both participated in last year. And she's just super nice, just super nice. Well, I just got an email. My aquarium box is on the way. Now, a lot of you might not know this, but this is my birthday week, August 17th. I'll be turning 45. And my aquarium box should be showing up the day before, so I'm going to do a very special birthday edition of my aquarium box on Wednesday. And I'm going to include a lot of the stuff I said I would include before, so we'll have polls, maybe a Squatty Potty review, and a couple of other things. You know, there'll be some commentary at the end. So be sure to check that out on Wednesday. And then next week, supposedly there's a big announcement from these guys. I'm going to let these guys wrap up their show, but supposedly there's something happening with the Aquantum next week. And you guys don't want to miss it. You know, I haven't brought them out all year. I mean, it's been 8 months since I've had a proper clone program. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, if you're like one of the thousands of new subscribers I've gotten this year, there's a playlist called Life in Aquaria that explains their whole story. So if you're curious about this clone business and what they're all about, you can check out that video. It explains everything. It's about 30 minutes in total for the playlist. All right, Charlie says he's ready to wrap up the show, so I'm going to transfer the feed now. Well, I guess that's all we have for you today. Remember, so don't forget to follow your bliss and keep a clean tank. See you next week. Okay, where'd you get this outfit? What? Did you think it's a little much? Well, I thought uniforms would be cool, and you know the Oculus will whip up whatever we want.
Woo! I like that!
Alright, why not? Ooh, yeah, this is much, much better. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm not doing that jacket though, it's just too hot. Hey, you look nice! You guys have that all you want. That's fine. See you later, folks. I want to shoot that again, just in case. Let's see if this is better. I can't say this, as I've added tanks, the bill hasn't gotten... Hey YouTube, this is Pecktec, and I have a call-out show I call blah blah blah, or explain this show. Now she had a terrible break-in at her house, and now she's got a huge dog that'll just bite the shit out of you if you show up. But components, which is another...